Good morning, hockey fans. This is Steven Heisler with HeisHockey.com, the Victorious Hockey Company, and the Junior Hockey Discussion Group on Facebook. Today is Friday, January 20th, and this is the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are live on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and more. Toronto won last night. Austin Matthews scored twice in the 4-1 win over Winnipeg. So that is a good sign that this is going to be a good show. We're going to have fun this morning, maybe 15, 20 minutes. Got some things to run down, got some games from last night. Maybe we should try to predict scores. No, that's not going to happen. The prediction thing, my crystal ball has been broken for years. I'm never doing that again. Although we did predict the games with World Juniors with Eric Ballard, ended up being a tie. There's no ties in hockey. Never. Horrible aspect. Coffee's good this morning, Tommy. Thank you. This show is sponsored by Bustelo Coffee Company. Not really, but without Bustelo, I would not be here. It's the best coffee in the world. We have to get a package and put it in front of here for folks to see what kind of coffee wakes me up to do this show. All right, let's run down some USHL scores from last night. The only game played was Muskegon 3 at Youngstown. Muskegon 3, Youngstown 7. Big loss. Tonight's games, Muskegon at NTDB program in the Plymouth. There you go. Madison at Youngstown. Sioux Falls at Fargo. Cedar Rapids at Green Bay, Sioux City at Lincoln, Tri-City at Omaha, Des Moines at Dubuque, Waterloo at Chicago. Speaking of Youngstown, the Phantoms have signed Zach Marin, a tender agreement for the 23-24 season. Born in Quebec, Marin has registered 41 goals and 53 assists. Is that right? 94 points in 56 games with Little Caesars 15U program this year. Holy smokers. Kids piling the points on. Last night, North American Hockey League scores. Philadelphia got crushed by the Generals, 9-1 in Boston. Bismarck got a big road win at Aberdeen, 6-0 over the Wings. And Wisconsin, 5-3 win at Fairbanks. Again, Fairbanks loses at home. They took the series last weekend against Kenai River. Kind of broke that streak they've been having. But for some reason, Fairbanks continues to struggle at home at the Big Dipper. Doesn't make any sense. Full slate of games tonight in the North American Hockey League. New Jersey at Danbury. Should be an easy win for the Titans. Philadelphia at the Generals. I think Philadelphia is going to bounce back and win that one. Maryland at Maine. Shouldn't be a game. Maryland should roll there. Austin at St. Cloud. That'll be a war. The Wilderness visit Chippewa. Same situation. Janesville at Springfield. Lone Star at Corpus Christi. Odessa at Shreveport. That'll be a good one. El Paso at Oklahoma. El Paso has no chance. Aberdeen at Bismarck. That was interesting last night. We'll see what happens tonight. Amarillo at New Mexico, Kenai River at Anchorage. Holy smokers. The last time Kenai went to Anchorage, the third period was a gong show. It was an absolute gong show. Probably one of the craziest third periods I ever seen in my entire life. Taylor Shaw showed his booty in that game. Wisconsin at Fairbanks. Fairbanks should bounce back tonight. The North American Hockey League has announced the rosters for the 2023 NHL Top Prospects Tournament, which will be held from February 6-7 at the UPMC Lemieux Ice Complex in Pittsburgh area. Good event. Only those NAHL players without an NCAA commitment are eligible to participate in this year's tournament, except for those that have been identified by the NHL Central Scouting as prospects for the 23 draft. The NAHL Top Prospects Tournament is one of the most highly scouted events in junior hockey. Last season, over 200 scouts attended the event, which featured almost every NHL team and NCAA Division I school. It continues to be an important part of the NAHL event model, which includes the NAHL Showcase in September and the Robertson Cup Championship in May. We're going this year in May. Good topic today. It is signs that you have chosen the wrong hockey team. Coffee. Friday, 69 degrees, cloudy here in Orlando. I wanted to go to the beach today. Need some salt. So I was having a conversation with one of the coaches in the North American Hockey League. And the question he had for me was this: how do we know if we assembled the right team? When you get a question like that, you know the answer is yes. They have a problem, and he does. I asked a few questions, and it led me to make some notes that might prove useful to you. Number one, these are 5 key ones here. Your owner is not supporting the effort. One of the early signs that a team issue is present is that the ownership is vetoing requests for resources for the team. What do you mean we can't buy more sticks? It's only February. Underfunding your team, shortchanging your players is not a way to operate a Tier 2 team or a Tier 1 team. But we see it continuously. We see owners continue to try to lower the expectations, lower the amenities, lower cost. And during COVID, owners had somewhat of an excuse. But let's be realistic here. You don't get into this to make money. There's only one way to become a millionaire in junior hockey. Don Stone, he said this. I think we were at the Odessa Jackalopes main camp when he said it. The only way to become a millionaire in junior hockey is to start out as a billionaire. I believe that to this day. This is a hobby. This is a project. This is your love of the game. But it's not something that you get into and then turn around and shortchange the players in the process. Tier 1, 2, or 3. Coaches are spending a lot of time sorting out details. If every request for resources ends up in your office, there is an issue. While teams always face financial resistance, well-reasoned requests with a good cause should be able to be worked out without question. I get it. He's the owner. But how does he expect success when player stick tape is getting stolen from their stalls by the pros across the hall? Danbury. That happened. Along with the kids having to pay for parking and go to practice. That happened too. That's embarrassing. You have to seek out updates. And when you get the updates, you feel the need to ask for second opinions. Well-run teams communicate proactively, not reactively. When you must run down an update, it means the information function is broken. Great teams know that they need to communicate very well upward and laterally to be effective. Hey, coach, is it normal not to get the team track suits until the first week of February? That's happened a lot of times. Kids pay for equipment, apparel up front, and it doesn't arrive until February or at all. That's bad business, especially at Tier 3. I think most NAHL teams understand the branding is important. In Canada, they certainly do. You got kids in the community. You want them to be identified. It's just good business. Tier 3 teams, the only money that comes in most of the time is from the players, so they don't care the same way. But for people that are selling tickets, that branding is very important. That look of those players is very important. You have a hard time answering questions of why are we doing this? The first task of a good team is to establish an unimpeachable case for their work effort on and off the ice. They need to repeat this early and often, and you should feel well equipped to respond to any inquiry. The Bismarck Bobcats had a rough start last year. A lot of that had to do with a very young group just getting their feet wet in a very competitive division. Head coach Sadeve never abandoned ship. He kept the boys at it, and the work paid off. Hear that? Hard work pays off. That was our theme yesterday, wasn't it? Work hard. There isn't any broken glass. Beware the team that doesn't require forgiveness from time to time. A group that doesn't push the boundaries is not going to have the impact that a team that should have. The Brooks Bandits have dominated the Alberta Junior Hockey League for more than a decade. The regular season has been too easy for them because all that success has not regularly meant success at the national stage. So once you have talked with the group and gotten some insight, how do you begin, as the Canadians often say, to get things sorted? Look at leadership. There needs to be a captain at the helm who has the scope and influence to make sure the team is able to deliver. Captains that are too young or immature can derail effective execution. The captain is not always the best player, but he is the guy the best player often turns to when leadership is needed. Man, we've seen some bad captains out there, haven't we? When the coach leaves the room and the captain is the first guy popping the vape pen, or what the hell the things are called, there's a bad sign. That's not good leadership. But it's happening. When the captain's the one facilitating the hazing, that's not good leadership. But it's happening. When the captain's the one conducting the kangaroo court for stupid stuff so they can party on and make the young kids pay for it. That's not good leadership, but that's the captain. Those kind of captains, if that's on your team, get the heck out of there. Ask for a trade, go play men's league, do something, but don't stick around. That's garbage. Team mix. Each team needs a mix of vision, execution, talent, and cohesiveness. If these are out of balance or an ingredient is missing, they will get bogged down. Absolutely. Pregnant pause. No one's pregnant here. Horsepower. If the above three are in place, it's time to look at the strategic use of additional resources to accelerate the group forward. We are approaching February. It's January 20th today. Trade deadline's coming up. Teams are deciding, are we a pretender? Are we a contender, or you want to build for next year? The smart teams that are out of the playoff picture are dumping 20-year-olds as we speak, picking up young players, 18, 19 years old, players that can give them and deliver performance down the line. You don't want to trade for an 18-year-old that's likely going to the USHL next year. That happens. But get some prospects in there to build your future. For teams that are contenders, bringing in a veteran scorer at the trade deadline often does a trick. So does a brick wall of a goalie. A lot of these teams become situations where it's not the best opportunity to go there. And the North American Hockey League is facing a remarkable attack on players from all ends. The NCDC is expanding. Canada is looking at the NAHL players now with a lot higher level of interest. And that can be troublesome for the league down the line. Holding on the prospects means the team owners have to do their end of the deal, and they can't get caught with their pants down. The North American Hockey League now has a $1 million valuation on each membership. That's a lot of money. That definitely closes the doors for a lot of markets. But I believe there's also 4 or 5 applications in process as we speak right now. So that tells us that that number is not scaring anybody away. But here's what does scare investors away. When you have weak links in your chain, it doesn't matter how strong the league marketing is, how strong player development is. If you have certain weak links in the system, the chain is still worthless. Is it $1 million valuation when you have Danbury pulling stupid stuff? When you have Kenai River charging players for equipment and workout fees? That's crazy. It kind of devalues your whole concept. Maybe you don't want that news to get out. Clean up the house. Don't let them do that. Get those players the refunds. Haven't heard that's happened yet. I've been complaining about Kenai River for months now. No one's doing anything from what I can see. Maybe they have issued refunds. Nate Keel issuing a refund. I don't see that happening. Nate Keel takes money in, doesn't put money back up. I don't see that being an issue there. Other markets, other attacks on the league are out there. The refereeing system right now across the board of hockey, we're suffering as a sport, and in the AHL is no different. You're developing referees. Some of these guys are upset they didn't get called up to the USHL and above from there because they're just crappy referees. And they're not getting that opportunity. Guys that are doing things the wrong way at the NA level should be forced to go back and ref only 3 HL games until they get their ducks in a row. Bring in a referee consultant. I don't think what's going on right now is that's not what's happening there. You have guys with personal agendas and just guys that are inconsistent. They don't call anything for 2 periods. In the 3rd period, the whistle's out. Now they're going to make up calls, and it's just not a good look. We don't want to see that happening. I will say this, what I saw at the NAPHL showcase in Ann Arbor was good. I was like, why are these guys here and not in the NAHL? Some good guys out there. We had one lady referee that was 5 foot tall and 90 pounds. And she was amazing. Kids respected her. Maybe that's what we need, more hockey moms on ice. Let's go recruit hockey moms to be referees. Good idea. Kind of scary. All right. Listen, that's it for today, folks. It's Friday. Enjoy your games this weekend. Kids, be safe. You guys are in our prayers. We don't want any more crazy injuries. Until Monday, we'll have a full show Monday. Maybe I'll snag Eric Monday because he likes to do that NAHL show on Mondays. All right, we'll break back Monday with the rankings, the whole kit and caboodle. But until then,